Let's put things into perspective. Let me also bring in Professor Zhiqin, Senior Fellow at the Chongyang Institute for Financial Studies at Renmin University. Always great to have you with us, Professor. Now, so as we heard, policymakers say they are looking to provide more support for private businesses. But what do you feel that the private sector needs the most to flourish next year?
This is a very good question. I think within this, we can notice that there are so many positive measures that are already issued from the central government to support the private economy. As we know, in the past 11 or 12 months, that every 2 months there's a big policy that issued, and every month they have announcement from the central government and from some institutions, especially from People's Bank or from the state commercial industry ministry. They always have the new policy to support the private economy. Why? Because the private economy has a very important, decisive role in China's economic development. As we know that in the history that 50% contributed to the GDP, 60% for the tax contribution, and 70% for the employment, and 80% for the innovation. But one thing should not be forgotten, that private economy has 100% contribution for stabilizing the social society and stabilizing the whole economy. So without the private economy further development or flourishing, I think there is no stability in China. When we are talking about keeping stability, making progress, how to get this goal realized, I think the main point is to support this private economy, private companies there. In this way that we can compensate, and also we can have a comprehensive economic policy and development together with the state-owned companies that to make a whole stabilizing economy. As we know that the private economy is a pillar of our country. It plays two functions. One is the stabilizer, the other is the catalyzer. The catalyzer is also a promotion for the economy. So from both functions that we should pay great attention. But fortunately that we have very good the idea and the policy makers that they always notice the problem. We are having new challenges, uncertainties. But the only way, the best way, and the shortest way is that to promote, to flourish the private economy in order to get a better result.
Right, and there's also been mentioned that there are needs to support for innovation, the digital economy and tech integration in a number of sectors. Now, if this support is provided, how can emerging industries contribute to China's economic development next year?
As we know that in the meeting also, 5 areas in financial sections, for instance, as you mentioned already, through digital finance and green finance and inclusive finance, and also from the high-tech financing, all these fields should be an emergent economy or industry, that they are very important to have the good support to further associate with all kinds of the industrial sections to be developed. We should not forget, when we are talking the integration of technical point and also digitalization and also even for the innovation, should not forget the other two things. One is how to coordinate, associate with the real economy, how to associate with this manufacturing, because the real economy and then manufacturing capacity and the quality is the major lifeline for our economy. In order to have a more competitiveness in the world market, all these two sections should be done more efforts that with more supportive policies in order to get a better position in the global community. So we are sure that in the future, China's economy will be further progressed with the stabilization.
Right. Thank you very much for sharing your perspectives, Professor Zhiqin.